So Pātea to me is where I'm the most grounded. It's where I was raised and born from, and where I'll also die and go back to. 7A Hedfield Street. Hi Mum.
Hi.
I was an absolute idyllic child, just like I am as an adult. I think I was spoiled, so because I was brought up in a 3-generational home. I was the first child, the first grandchild, so I don't remember feeling anything other than real love and treated like a princess. I wasn't raised knowing our history. I wasn't raised thinking we were any different. Every now and then I'd hear somebody call us Mediterranean rather than Māori, or it was quite clear that my genetic makeup was different to Mum's families, but you know, just didn't really take notice of that. But when I went to school, at boarding school at New Plymouth Girls High, I started to notice that when I wanted to learn Māori, it was in the resource room. We didn't have our own classroom. So I think the stereotyping sort of came to me as I left the bosom of this safety. And we just thought everybody spoke 2 languages in their homes, but actually this harmonisation, the way that we were brought up in our community, was very rare. And Mum and Dad lived that example. So they were always community supporters. They were adult tertiary learners. And so from a very young age, we were taught to enjoy learning. Mum at 46 had an aneurysm, and which created a stroke, and so Mum had to give up her career. They told us that Mum would be a vegetable actually, and that she would never walk, talk, whatever. And God, she proved them wrong, see? Again, she's taught us that art of pushing back and don't let people tell you what you can or cannot do. And if they tell you you can't do something, then prove them bloody wrong.
My wife, she's the strength in the family. I'm only just a provider.
And these are my siblings. That's my kuku. The most important person to me as I was growing up was my kuku. Yeah. He was my world. I go looking back to what he always made me feel, which is my own value and know my own worth, and see myself through the eyes that he did. He's also taught me to be a really great nan. My kuku was the most important person. So Mum and Dad, you are too.
What?
At about 19, nearly just shy of 20, I got hapu. I had my oldest daughter, Jamie. She's beautiful. And typical in a young relationship, things didn't go well. I guess, you know, when you live such a sheltered, protected life, it was a really humbling experience to have to be an independent mum. At stages, I remember working 3 jobs and couldn't afford a car and would bike her to Kohanga. And she was probably about as big as I was at 3. So, yeah, and I think that's formed a lot of my views on different times that we need to have support and we need to be have empathy towards things not going the way that you plan out to be. I have an amazing tāne Neil, and between us we have 3 children. So my oldest daughter Jamie, who has 5 mokopuna. My middle daughter Hannah has twins, so she has 4 boys. And my youngest, my baby, he's 19. So I have 9 mokopuna, but only 1 girl. And funnily enough, I've nicknamed her Mini Debbie, which I think is great for her future. So how come no one's at work?
Nah, day off today. Day off. Surf was calling today.
All the kids in Pātea have to surf. All their younger siblings and nieces and nephews, cousins will be in the surf. So beginners in the middle, and then intermediate and seniors on the south and north side. I couldn't be on a short board like this. My board's like about 9 foot long. My surf is really good. So we spent all our summers down at actually summer and winter, down at the beach. All our best friends were our cousins. We were raised around all our nannies and kukus and aunties and uncles, and everybody always knew what you were up to. And we'd go and tell your parents, so yeah, that was awesome. That's a really good place to grow up. There was a period of my time when I was also deputy mayor in my local South Taranaki District Council, and that was not because I was necessarily the best person, it was because I was the one most available and maybe palatable to get elected.
Whirirona I tēnei whare, tēnā tātou katoa.
There's a whole group, a really small cohort of our society who are really scared that as Māori and as our culture gets stronger and we resume or claim our role back under Te Tiriti, that they're going to lose something or we're going to take something from them. And that fear is manifesting. Because I've come from a strong Irish mum and a Māori dad, and I've watched the partnership and the way that they've negotiated things for our upbringing all our lives, it's always been about a unity of strength. So I think we haven't talked enough. I think for a lot of me, I actually feel real aroha, because I think that there's been a sad neglect of our own nationhood and understanding how it is that we should be looking after each other.